All right, it's October 8th, and it's this week's real estate and mortgage rate update. Let's jump right into the numbers. So we're still kind of trading pretty much sideways, 6.36 30-year fixed national average. That's today. And if we take a look at, I'll show you some median home prices here in a second. But if we were to take a 20% down on the median home price in Clackamas County, you'd be financing 482,048, and that would put your payment at your principal and interest payment at right at about $3,000 a month on a 30-year fixed FHA 2906. And so that is where the market's at. And here graphically, we can see that we've been trading pretty sideways ever since September 17th. Here's the funny, or I guess ironic news, is that a lot of people think that when the Fed cuts rate that it cuts mortgage rates, but in fact we've seen actually rates go the opposite direction. You may recall in my previous updates, mortgages are based on a bond. This is that bond. Each of these bars represent a day of trading. Green and up is good for rates, red and down is bad for rates. And so on September 17th, right here, we lost a lot of ground from some real momentum that we had going in the right direction. And now we've kind of come off of that. However, if you look at some of these trend lines, it's actually moving in the right direction. So that's encouraging. And a lot of this has stalled out this week because of the government shutdown. These federal economic reports have been stalled. And so we're not seeing, for example, like the jobs report, unemployment, things like that. And what the market is basing a lot of the trading on right now is just technicals. So you'll see a lot of these lines, and, like, for example, this line has created a bit of a ceiling. And so these traders are kind of technically trading, and things are kind of remaining in this sideways channel. Although, like I said, it's trending in the right direction. We would then, we have upward room here, but this would present another ceiling. And so until we start to see economic reports, because economic reports will always kind of supersede the technical type trading, but in the absence of these reports, then it's going to be more on the technical side of things. What they are basing a lot of this trading on is the jobs report, the ADP jobs report, right before the government shutdown, showed continuing weakening in the jobs report. So we had 32,000 job losses in the month of September. And so, that's pretty significant. And that's playing into the safety, money moving into the safety of bonds because there's uncertainty on the jobs front. And then the last thing that I just wanted to touch on is just kind of a recap on Clackamas County. I've used this in the past, and I always do this kind of at the front of the month, just to give you an idea of where the median home price is for Clackamas County. Median home price has dropped. So back in June, I think that's the last time that I did a real estate report card. We had a median home price of $626,634. So a little over $24,000 reduction in the median home price for Clackamas County. We've just seen longer days on market, which has led to some price softening. However, because there is a forecast of lowering mortgage rates over the next 6 and 10 months, we're seeing some decent Case-Shiller forecasted appreciation, 5.23 over the next year, kind of an average over the next 5 years, 5.77. Historically, that's in line with where we've been. And so, on that median home price, in 5 years, that $602,000 home would be $173,000 more in price at $776,000. So a good indicator for people. I think really we're in this perfect storm right now where we've seen decent softening in prices. Sellers are providing seller credits, helping with rate buy downs, helping with covering closing costs, things like that. And we're starting to see mortgage rates come more in line. And so hopefully we're in that sweet spot right now. I do think that once we see considerable improvement in rates, we're going to start to see prices move back up as this pent-up demand starts to increase activity on listings and so forth. So overall, kind of a decent time to buy, just because, most importantly, as I've said many, many times, we can always refi the rate. We can't refi the price of the home. And so, with the expectation that we're going to continue to see upward price movement, now would be the time. Here's kind of economically the reason why is you have 28,000 renters that can afford to purchase in Clackamas County alone, and only 2,200 homes being built. Massive supply and demand gap that we continue to see that throughout Portland Metro and all the Tri-County areas. And so we will probably continue to see this upward price movement. All right. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.